Hi there! Today we'll show you how to backup PostgreSQL databases on macOS using Ahsay OBM. Ahsay offers the most versatile and comprehensive protection for all your PostgreSQL databases, supporting backups with direct deployment on the database server from a remote database server, as well as full cloud services integration with Amazon RDS, Azure Database, and Google Cloud SQL, along with the flexibility to selectively back up specific databases to customize backups that will suit customer needs. Our backup solution supports PostgreSQL version 12 and above, which can protect your database servers on Windows, Linux in both CLI and GUI, and macOS platforms. Ahsay utilizes the native PG dump utility to ensure data consistency. We employ additional cutting-edge technology to further optimize PostgreSQL backups by directly streaming the backup data to the storage destination to deliver faster and more efficient backups, all the while maintaining a simplified setup while ensuring uninterrupted access for users and applications. Ahsay supports logical backups, providing versatile recovery options. By allowing the backup data to be used for recovery across different PostgreSQL versions and operating systems, organizations can achieve greater flexibility and adaptability in their database management strategies. To learn how to backup your PostgreSQL databases on macOS using Ahsay OBM, let's go to my screen and get started. Let's click on the Ahsay OBM icon from the dock of Mac running PostgreSQL. Log into your account. After logging into Ahsay OBM, click on the backup set style. Click on the plus sign to add a new backup set. Enter backup name. For this example, we'll name the backup PostgreSQL Backup. Then select PostgreSQL Backup for the backup set type. Enter the login ID and password. We can leave the host value on default or change it to localhost as Ahsay OBM is installed on the PostgreSQL database server. However, if your PostgreSQL database is running on a remote machine or in a cloud instance, you need to enter the appropriate hostname or IP address. 5432 is the default PostgreSQL port. You may change the port value if your PostgreSQL database instance is set up using another port. Select the directory path of the PG dump utility by clicking Change. This is usually located within the PostgreSQL installation folder. Take note, if the PostgreSQL database instance is running on a remote server or as a cloud service, make sure the PG dump you use on your backup machine is the same version as the PostgreSQL database version. Click Next to continue. Select the database that you would like to back up. For our example, we will back up all the available databases on the server. Take note, Ahsay OBM will automatically exclude the default system databases Postgres, Template 0, or Template 1 from the backup job. Click Next to continue. Create an automatic backup schedule. Turn on the setting and click on the plus icon to add a schedule. You can use the default schedule name, but for our example, we'll use a daily backup at 1800. To ensure minimal impact on end users, set the schedule of the automatic backup outside working hours. When setting a backup schedule, consider the hardware performance of the machine, the network bandwidth, and the retention policy settings. Next, choose from the different types of backup schedules, such as daily, weekly, monthly, or custom. For this example, we will select a daily backup to run at 1800 hours. This setting is considered as the normal backup schedule, setting a certain time as to when the backup job will run. On the other hand, when you change at to every, this is called periodic backup schedule. The periodic backup schedule will automatically back up your data every 1 minute, up to every 12 hours, depending on the interval you will select. Using regular backup intervals is crucial for ensuring that changes to the database are always backed up. However, having small backup intervals also means that the backup machine must have the appropriate hardware specifications to achieve optimal performance. As the amount of new data grows, ensure the Ahsay OBM user account has enough storage quota allocation and consider the retention policy settings and retention area storage management. Meanwhile, there are two options to choose from when you want the backup job to stop. This feature only works when you set a normal backup schedule. So let's switch this back from every to at. The default setting is until full backup completed, which means the backup job will only stop running when all selected databases or any subsequent changes are completely backed up regardless of how long it takes. The other option will stop the backup job after a certain number from 1 to 24 hours, even if the backup of your databases is not yet complete. For this example, we will use the default setting until full backup completed to ensure that all the latest changes to our databases are fully backed up every day. After setting up your preferred backup schedule, select OK, then click Next to proceed. For the backup destination, our strategy involves utilizing two different locations, Ahsay drive and a local network drive. This approach combines the security of an off-site copy with the convenience of local accessibility. We'll set the backup mode to concurrent. This is the recommended setting when selecting more than one storage destination to allow Ahsay OBM to back up your data to both destinations simultaneously. This approach also helps reduce the overall backup time, which minimizes any performance impact to the backup machine. Once you switch to concurrent, you'll be able to set the maximum number of destinations to run simultaneously. Let's keep the default selection, which is unlimited. To add new storage destination, click the plus sign. The default destination storage, Ahsay drive, is already selected. If you can remember, I mentioned that we will be selecting more than one storage destination. So we'll keep this on default and click OK to continue. Then, click Add. Select Local, Map Drive, Removable Drive. Once you have selected the said destination, you will be asked to input local or network address. Click Change, then select a destination. For this example, we will be selecting the network drive. Click on the network location, then Open. Click OK. Ahsay OBM will test its access to the local destination. After a successful test, click Next to continue. For data encryption, we will use the default setting as this is the most secure option as it uses AES 256-bit encryption technology and a randomly generated encryption key made up of 44 alphanumeric characters. Once you have selected the encryption settings and your backup set is created, it cannot be changed afterwards. If you need to change the encryption settings, then a new backup set must be created. Your data will have to be backed up again from scratch. Save a copy of your encryption key. Click Confirm to proceed. The backup set has been created successfully. Click on Backup Now to start the backup job. Or you can click Close and wait for the scheduled backup to start. Let's click Close and check the other available settings for our backup set. Click the backup set that we have just created. We'll look at the other important settings for this backup set, such as the duplication, retention policy, temporary directory, and compression settings. The duplication is enabled by default. It removes all duplicate data blocks from your backup. The default settings are the optimal settings for the duplication and will result in up to 60% savings in storage space and costs for database backups. It will also reduce network bandwidth usage and will allow for faster backups. The retention policy determines how long deleted or modified databases are stored in the retention area before they are permanently removed. Every time Ahsay OBM runs a backup job, any previously backed up databases that are subsequently modified or deleted on the destination are moved to the retention area, where they can still be restored. There are two retention policy options on Ahsay OBM. One is simple, where the retained databases are removed after a specified number of days or backup jobs. Just like our example, by default, it is selected on Simple, where the deleted databases are kept for 7 days. While the other is Advanced, where you can add multiple policies to keep the most recent versions than older versions, or be able to recover the older versions of deleted or modified databases. Click the plus sign to add advanced retention policies, or see more of the advanced retention policy. You can change the default retention policy name, but you can also use the default name provided. Aside from this, you can also choose the different types based on how you would like the different versions of your databases to be retained. An advanced retention policy offers more flexibility and control in managing older versions of deleted or modified databases. It will maximize the scope of your data recovery while minimizing storage usage and costs. While for simple retention policy, simply increasing the duration will also increase the likelihood of recovering older versions of deleted or modified databases. However, This will also increase the storage required, which means higher storage costs. Close this window by clicking Cancel. For this example, we'll use a simple retention policy with a duration of 90 days. This provides extra protection, allowing us to recover any deleted or modified data for up to 3 months. Next, click Others, and you'll see the temporary directory and compression settings. For the temporary directory, the default location is in a local destination. This is the best practice for macOS, as using a network drive could affect the backup and restore performance. The Remove Temporary Files After Backup is enabled by default in order to keep the temporary drive clear. Below the temporary directory is Compressions. Data compression serves 2 purposes: enhancing backup performance and reducing storage space and storage costs. There are 4 compression types available: no compression, normal, fast, and fast with optimization for local. This compression type is selected by default, as it balances data compression speed, compression ratio, and CPU usage efficiently. The compression settings can be changed anytime. If the compression type is changed, the new setting will take effect on the next backup job. Let's close this window by clicking Save. Now let's start the backup. From the Ahsay OBM home screen, select the backup tile. Click the backup set that you have created. Click on Backup. It may take a few minutes or hours depending on the size and the number of databases selected. After a successful backup job, you can see under the progress bar that the backup has been completed successfully. With Ahsay, your data is fully protected. Armed with the latest technology like immutable backups, where your backup data will never be encrypted, deleted, or modified for total protection against hackers and ransomware. Strong AES 256-bit encryption ensures your data is encrypted during transit and when your data is stored. Two-factor authentication is also present to prevent anyone from accessing your data without your permission. Multi-destination backups also store your backup data in more than one storage destination and across many geographical regions for maximum protection against natural disasters, fire, or conflicts. Lastly, data deduplication, a feature that removes duplicate copies of data that helps you save up to 90% of your storage space, with significant savings on your storage costs as well as much faster backups. That's why you should choose Ahsay. Your data is safe with us.